but 3. Clayster going huge for Dallas Empire.
You'd get this look in your eye, and then you know you're gonna win. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of The Barracks. My name is Tyler Polchow, aka TP, and The Barracks is brought to you by Metro by T-Mobile, the #1 brand in prepaid. Today, we're going one-on-one with Clayster from the Dallas Empire. He's one of the COD veterans, a 2-time world champion, gold medalist, and has played on some of the most well-known COD rosters in history. The Dynasties. The guy's an absolute beast. One of my favorite teammates of all time. We won so many tournaments together, man. Clay, how we doing, bud?
Hey, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate the kind words, man. How you doing?
I'm having a blast already, man. I'm excited to talk about so many things about the CDL with you today, with your team, the Dallas Empire, and basically your storied career. You've been on so many different teams, have had success on so many different titles. You've been playing, all the way back COD 4 days, right? Since the very start of game battles, all that type of stuff. So a lot of stuff to dive into. So today, starting off with the game changers. Basically, I want to pick your brain a bit about CDL, recent events, and kind of how you got started with Call of Duty in general. First one I got for you is your team has been one of the top teams in the league since the very start of the CDL. We're in the home stretch now before the championships, and we see a bunch of different teams showing promise and having opportunities to win. We've seen the Mutineers and then most recently New York kind of step up. What are you guys doing to sort of separate yourself from all these teams showing a lot of success on this home stretch?
Yeah, I think that naturally towards the end of every year, you're going to have teams getting better. And I think, obviously with the shift online, that problem gets exacerbated a little more. The best teams aren't as good anymore. The worst teams aren't as bad anymore. So for us, it's more about just staying consistent and staying motivated to practice every day. And it's kind of something I tell my team every day. I'm like, all right, just love this game for 6 more weeks. Think it's the best game ever. Love this thing. Love it so much that you want, you're excited to get on and play and practice every day. It's let's get on and get better today and not just get on, go through the motions. We've been doing this for so many months now. We know how to play the game. It's all about those little pathing issues. Even it comes down to gunfights. So just focus up on every little thing and let's get really tight going into champs because that's the big one. That's the one that matters. And it's something I kind of saw us doing is we've had these 3-4 week long breaks where it's we're just scrimming with nothing to play for. And it's okay, no, there is something to play for at the end of the tunnel. Just make sure you keep that in mind and make sure you're giving as much effort as you possibly can.
Absolutely. And that sort of seems like the problem for a lot of teams. It's not necessarily the team chemistry, the talent on the team. It's just, especially with how Call of Duty can be on the competitive level, especially playing it for so long like you guys have, it can take a toll on your mentality. And if you're not having fun, it makes it really difficult to be really good at the game too. So I'm glad to hear you guys have that mindset. And again, we're in this weird situation where the shift happened online. We all want CDL to be sort of at the top, right? To keep growing in viewership, things like that. It's a weird situation, but seems like you guys have your heads on straight for sure.
For me especially, I've been doing it so long, I know how my brain works when it comes to grinding COD.
Right.
And I break that up with family vacations or going to concerts or music festivals or stuff like that. And then with quarantine and COVID happening, it's none of that's there. So I'm kind of having to have mini staycations where it's we really just go to a dog park for the day or, just do something to kind of break up the monotony, because that's really what gets me is just the doing the same thing, waking up every day, sitting in this chair, playing COD for 12 hours and going to sleep.
I know that.
Over and over and over and over and over. So it gets monotonous for sure. But, I love what I do and I love competing. And so these tournament weekends and especially champs always make it worth it for me.
You need the break, man. That's it's been a weird time for me too. The gym has sort of become that outlet when it comes to the streams. I get the same feeling. It's every single day you wake up, you know what your routine's going to be. It can help a lot. Speaking on your team more specifically now, obviously, you and Crim are considered the leaders, the older guys, the mentors for some of the younger talent on the team. You guys pride yourselves on your leadership in game, your comms. Basically, Ian said in his Barracks episode that it takes a lot of pressure off of him to have other in-game shot callers on the team to take the pressure off of him, because some of his previous teams, he's had to be that guy. And if he wasn't being that leader in game, no one else was really stepping up to the plate. Do you share that same sentiment? Do you feel like having someone like Ian on the team allows you to, I don't know, take a back seat when it comes to comms and leadership sometimes?
I don't know if backseat's the right word I would use, but I think that the shared load helps a lot. Even we've gotten in a good like symbiotic leadership role here where like even an example from today, we were practicing search and destroy and Crim kept saying like, whoever's dead, call out who's alive on the other team so we know who we're playing against. And he like, it was like the third time and he was about to say it and I was like, Crim, be quiet, I'll say it. And I just like screamed it. I was like, if you're dead, call out who's alive. And like, I was like, that's it, we're not saying it anymore. And so it's like, I kind of like take it from him a little bit too. You know, it's like, he doesn't have to be the bad guy over and over and over and over. Like I can be the bad guy too and kind of alleviate some pressure from him and be like, hey, I hear you, man. I hear what you're saying. Like, let me try to get through to these guys. Really, it helps in terms of like how we balance our strategies. And you know, back in the day, if we disagreed about something, we might have like a throwdown argument and we get like super mad at each other. Yeah. And, you know, then it's like we get off for the night or something. But now, me and him have both matured to a point that like we disagree on something and I'll be like, well, I disagree with what you're saying. And I explain why. And then he'll be like, all right, to kind of counter your point, and he'll explain why his point's better. And then we'll like ask the team, like, what do you guys think we should do? Should we do this way or that way? That like he might have this idea of one thing and I might have an idea of another. And we need to figure out where we want the Dallas Empire to be, because we can't just be pulling them in two different directions every time. Like, and that's something we've kind of gotten at throughout our practice this year is like, they'll like the kids, and when I say the kids, I mean Shotzi, Illy, and Hook. When they get told to do something or not to do something, they get it in their heads like it's never acceptable to do this. Crim yelled at me for this, and then I'll like be like, hey, maybe you should do this like flank thing, which is kind of like the opposite of what Crim said, and then they'll do it and get yelled at by him, and he's just like, dude, I told you not to do this, and they're like, well, Clay told me to, and so it's like there's definitely some pulling in each direction, but it helps us kind of figure things out and get on the same page when we do identify those moments where we're not on the same page.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And speaking from history too, a lot of the time it's more competitive. Call of Duty at the pro level a lot of the time can be, you might be doing the wrong thing, but as long as you guys are all, you know, playing together, you have the right idea on the map, you can make a bad play still kind of work if you can kind of gun your way throughout or have good teamwork, baits and switch, whatever it may be. So in terms of, I don't know if you want to go into gameplay or how they communicate or whatever it may be, do you feel like you and Ian and possibly Rambo have affected the younger guys in a positive way when it comes to them being Call of Duty players as a whole?
I totally think, at least if there's one thing we've done, it's affected guys in a positive way. And, you know, I've learned throughout my years that, especially with the younger talent, you don't want to put them on like too short of a leash. Like you don't want to just like tell them like always do this and start getting them overthinking and all that stuff. Like you kind of have to let the younger guys who are really good fly a bit and kind of play around that and be malleable in your strats. And that's something really where me and Crim try to fine line, because you know how Crim is, like he wants the game to be played like perfectly every rotation, every situational, you do the same thing so he can play off of you. And yeah, that's a super consistent way to play. But when you have players who are so talented and so fast-paced that like they're not even thinking half the time, they're just reacting off instinct, you kind of have to let that go in a way and learn how to adapt your play style around that. Where like you get a couple plays a game where you can do whatever you want, just as long as you don't completely screw over the team, and as long as you calm it, and as long as like we're aware of what you're doing, you know, as long as all those things kind of fit, then like yeah, you can go do something that's unexpected, because that's where you're going to see Shotzi get like a 4-piece or Illy, you know, pop a 3-piece. And so I think the biggest thing for us that we've kind of taught them is that really there's a consistent way to win. And there's like, you can be a great Call of Duty team, but that doesn't mean you're a championship Call of Duty team. And I think that people get this confused a lot, and that's why you see in Call of Duty a lot, like there's a group of winners who have won 75% of all of the tournaments, you know, and there's a reason for that. And teaching younger guys how to win is really where I think me and Crim kind of bring that success to, and just kind of bring that little bit of extra energy to, is because we're not here to just place well or get top 3 or top 2. Like we're here to win these tournaments. So, and that's what we got through into their heads is like every little thing you're doing matters. Like everything you don't calm negatively impacts us. Everything that you don't take the right route negatively impacts us. Every gunfight you miss one bullet negatively impacts us. And then on the flip side, there's all the positive aspects of that as well. It's where like if we all do the little things right all the time, we'll never lose. And that's just something that I think we've kind of overdone a little bit for them. Definitely, you know, we harp on people a lot, and we make sure that, you know, we expect perfection and we expect greatness each and every day. And so even when we're just playing just good, it's not good enough. And, you know, it's that goes both ways. Like, it can be too much sometimes. It's like, all right, man, calm down. We beat them by 150 points. It's like, yeah, it could have been 200, you know? But,
I feel
so it's definitely, there's an in-betweener there, but I think we ride a really good line of kind of teaching them the positive aspects of winning.
Listen, man, you want to try and keep it fun, but you know it's the most fun? Winning.
Yeah.
and getting better, right? So, like, even if practice isn't fun like that, and I feel like that's kind of what set our team when we had all that success too, and my experience teaming with other people in the community, it's practice, and it's that overall mentality of trying to set the bar as high as possible. And you do that in practice. You can see the teams that have gone on multiple championship runs that there's something different that like sets themselves apart in terms of their practice, their preparation, and their mindset towards Call of Duty. So you kind of breaking that down with how your lineup is it's interesting because you have this weird split of older and much younger people on the team, and I feel like it's a recipe that should lead to a lot of success long term. All right, man, let's switch it up a little bit. Take me back to the moment where you knew that this was going to be your full-time thing. You completely dove in. What was it, an event? Was it a certain game? Was it a certain year? Was it something in your personal life? What was the moment for you where you said, I'm a pro gamer and I'm going to do this for my job?
Yeah, I actually remember it vividly. And shout out to you, Teep, for the complexity run, because it helped my decision make a lot easier. Basically, you know, I'd been playing COD professionally, quote unquote, saying professionally, it wasn't my job, but at a very high level since 2009-ish. And kind of on and off, online, went to a couple LANs, got some decent placings, but nothing I was really proud of or that I thought I could make it a career from. And then I think it was in 2013 when I joined Complexity with you guys in Black Ops 2. And I was still going to school at the time, still working part-time as well. And we won the first tournament, and I was like, all right, we're kind of good. And then we won the second tournament, and I was like, okay, we might be really good. And then we won the third tournament, and it was like a UMG Atlanta, I think it was what it was called. And I just remember being like, okay, we just won 3 in a row. This is like, you know, we're the best in the world at this right now. I can actually make a living doing this now. And I remember I was sitting with all of my family after we won UMG Atlanta, and we're out to dinner, and I was just talking to my family, and I wanted to stay in school. You know, I've been raised to go to school, get a degree. Don't ever like risk that for anything. And so I remember sitting with them with like, my 4 siblings and my mom and a bunch of my close friends. And I was the only one at the table saying like, I should stay in school. Like everybody else is telling me like, no, go for it. Like you don't want to what if. Yeah, it is crazy. And like to hear it coming from my mom and my older brother who like, they both went the traditional route. And to hear everybody telling me like, go for it. You can always go back to school. Like school will always be waiting for you. Like you should take this COD thing serious. And I think it was that moment where I finally in my head clicked like, okay, maybe I'm a pro gamer now, and it was after many tournament wins at this point, like 3 of them and, a couple seconds and whatnot. But it took a while before I finally like got it in my own head. Like, hey, wait, like I can do this for real. I'm actually good enough to do this. Maybe I should try it out. And it was like that moment and after UMG Atlanta where it really clicked for me that, it was real.
Good times, man. Brings me back.
It was some good times.
It was crazy back then. Like it was sort of the same for me. Like the string of tournaments in a row. You want to make sure you're making a good decision because at the time, there's so much up in the air. There wasn't that much money flying through when it comes to like contracts and tournament winnings and things like that. So, it was a great time to be a part of that dynasty run with you. Yeah, we had some good times traveling around all those different tournaments and all the different rosters you've been on. I don't know if I want to call it a drought, but that period of time where you weren't able to take home a dub, but you finally, get some success with United there at the end of like BO4. So many different games and teams. As the oldest player in the league, what's sort of next for you? I mean, you've kind of done it all at this point, right? You've won so many different titles, your medals, your champs wins. How long do you think you're going to keep on going with this? It's probably an impossible question to answer. Have you ever had times throughout your career where you're like, okay, I might be done? Or have you just kind of been trucking through the entire time?
Yeah, Yeah, that's a pretty loaded question there.
Yeah.
First off, yeah, shouts to the cold days, man. The Dynasty run is still fond memories of that, man. We did some legendary stuff that's still talked about to this day and will forever be talked about in Call of Duty, man. It's some crazy stuff. Super proud of that. And honestly, for me, I was close to quitting a few times, especially during the multiple years of not winning. We were close. I was on a good team. It's not like I was, getting smoked over and over, like top 16 and bombing out. We were championship contenders almost every tournament we went to, and we just kept falling short. So I'm a competitor first and foremost. Like, I love competing against other people, especially competing in stuff I'm good at, especially something I'm one of the best in the world at, which is Call of Duty. And so really that's like the driving force behind it. And at this point, being a full-time COD pro for, 8 years now, 7 years, whatever it is, I don't really know what else, like how to do other things, and I'm sure, I'm sure I'll figure it out. I'm not, I can roll with the punches. I can change, I can adapt. I definitely think I could be a full-time streamer if I wanted to. There's many different routes I could go. And they're all just kind of like what ifs, and I try not think about it too much. And because I feel like as soon as you start focusing on what I'm doing next, that means like I'm done doing this, and I don't think I'm done yet. The end for me will be when I can't like keep up anymore. Like, there's gonna be a time when I just start like fading, and not to mention any names, Pat, but I gotta be able to hang, and that's really it for me. As long as I can drop a 1.0 and really just go 1 for 1 and be an addition to my team and be an asset on my team and help us win tournaments, help us get better, I think I'll keep doing it. And I just love competing. I love, at the end of the day, like winning playoffs last year is like one of the best moments of my life. Like, the feeling that I had then from accomplishing a goal that I had set out, hadn't done for 1,400 days, like to finally do it, like the feeling of like satisfaction I get from that is greater than anything else I've ever felt. And so I'll keep plugging away until I start getting smoked, I feel like. And, maybe like, a lot of people
might as well.
Yeah, might as well, especially because we're still making a lot of money in it. And so that also kind of factors into the decision a little bit. It's like, I live a really awesome life here in Dallas, and I wouldn't trade it for the world, especially having thousands and thousands of people watching and supporting us, and have the opportunity to go and compete at champs for millions of dollars. It's a dream come true, and it's something I wouldn't change for the world. And so I'm gonna just keep that dream alive until my hands fall off, I guess.
When the going's good, baby. Keep it going. And hey, let me throw this out there. 28 isn't old.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, dude.
I'm 28. You're 28. People always say it's like, oh, getting up there, bro, almost 30. It's like, it doesn't seem like you're slowing down. You know
I'm
what
the
I mean?
defending world champion, man. Come on, man.
That's what I'm saying. Damn, dude. Obviously, I'm in a unique situation. Coaching was awesome. I had a lot of fun doing that. And, streaming's taken off for me, which has been super cool. And I would never, take that for granted. But man, seeing all my other teammates, you guys are winning more world championships. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like think back to like the Dynasty run and stuff, and I'm like, I know I didn't have the best run at stuff throughout like AW and then like early Black Ops 3, but like, man, just seeing what you guys have been able to sort of tack on to your careers too, it just makes me think a little bit too. It's like, did I hang it up too soon? I definitely still think I had like the talent and overall like mindset to still compete at the highest level. It's just interesting to see how everything plays out, but the fact that I see, all you guys, that we had this crazy success back then and you guys are still killing it now, like, just a massive respect from me, because I know what the grind is like. And the fact that you guys have been able to make it work, it takes like a certain strong mindset, and just like props to you, man. You've been doing this for so long and dealing with so many different teams and, bad situations. You stuck it out and it paid off for you. So I'm just super happy for you, man. Congrats on everything.
Thank you, dude. I really do appreciate that. And hey, like you when you wanted to quit, you quit. Now you're a big famous streamer, dude. All right. So it works out for you. Okay.
Dude, it's been a crazy run, dude. It's just crazy. It's crazy to see where we're all at now. Like with the CDL and everything, I feel like it's still growing. And especially like for you, like you've seen it when it was nothing, and now you're seeing where it's at with the CDL. And it's like, you want to live it up now. Like, I feel like it's just kind of getting started. So like, I feel like some of these younger players are kind of spoiled. They're coming into the CDL, right? Like it's just a different world.
Dude, Illy was talking to me. He's like, oh, you got fined $2,000? Oh, that's nothing. And I'm like, what, dude?
What?
How rich are you guys now, man?
Wow,
like, come on,
dude.
$2,000, man? Like, that's a lot of money, dude. Like, and they just come in, they're making tens of thousands of dollars, compete for all this. Like, dude, man, I was ecstatic when we got a $500 a month contract from Complexity back in the day.
I know,
okay?
right?
So happy, all right? So you
Finally
guys,
some cash.
Yeah, I know the value of the dollar at this point, you know? the kids
funny,
don't
dude.
understand it, man. They don't get it.
It's so funny, dude. Well, thanks for bringing me back a little bit. It's awesome to reminisce on some of the great times we've had on our previous team, and then some of the other teams you've been on too. Switching it up now, we got the hip fire segment. So what we're gonna do, I don't know if you've watched the other Barracks episodes, but you're competing against some of the other players that we've had on the episodes.
Oh, okay.
So the player in first place so far is Silly. What we're gonna do for this one is we're going to put 90 seconds on the clock. I'm going to fire through 18 different questions for you. Okay?
Okay.
If you don't like the question, just say skip. We'll move on. But your goal is to try and take the #1 spot. Are you ready for this, Clay?
All right.
And we'll tally up your results
Let's
after
get
90
it.
seconds. Okay. Starting this in 3, 2, 1. Who has more total kills in the league, you or Crim 6?
Me.
Who currently has the most total deaths on the Empire?
Shotzi.
Who has the highest KD on the Empire?
Shotzi.
Who on Empire has the most headshots?
Me.
Name a player on the LA Gorillas.
Blast.
Which team has a higher overall KD? Huntsman or Subliners?
Subliners.
Battle of the North involves what 2 CDL teams?
Toronto, Minnesota.
Which team is Looney on?
Toronto.
Which COD game had Favela multiplayer map?
Modern Warfare 2.
Which COD game had Hijacked multiplayer map?
Black Ops 2.
Which COD game had Strike multiplayer map?
COD 4.
Which COD game had Overgrown?
COD 4.
Which COD game had Resistance multiplayer map?
Black Ops 1.
Nubsy is the head coach for which team?
Seattle.
Which game developer created the first COD?
Oh. Infinity Ward. I don't know.
Which game developer created Blackout?
Treyarch.
True or false? Modern Warfare more than doubled the Joker's film opening weekend revenues.
True?
How many COD games are there total?
Oh, man. Like 13.
Bang, time.
That was just
Okay.
a number. I have no idea, dude. I couldn't add them in time, dude.
Oh, man. Alrighty. Well done. You fired through a lot of these. I feel like the first half of them were, or the first couple were kind of difficult with like the specific stats with your team. Like,
Yeah, I don't know all
most
those
total
stats,
kills,
dude. I
like,
have
oh,
no
man.
idea. I was just guessing, dude.
Off the top of your head, too.
I was guessing.
So,
That was a lot of guessing.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, 12.
12 of 18?
Okay, 12 out of 18. That's not bad. That's going to slot you in right at third place.
Okay.
Third place so far. That's a podium.
That's podium finish. I'll take that.
That's a bronze medal so far. So the top 3, we'll list them for you real quick. Silly's #1, Attached 2, and you're now sitting at third. And then everyone else, they don't matter
It's
anymore.
good company
Well,
up there. It's good company up there, man.
Dude, very intelligent, very talented. You know, that's not a bad group of guys to be around right there. Okay, third place for Clayster. Well done, buddy. All right, Hipfire was an absolute blast. Clayster taking home third place in that one. Now we got some VOD review action. I feel like Clayster's one of the best people to have for something like this. And it's going to be some great comms within your team against Atlanta FaZe at the Chicago Home Series. And I don't know if you want to just like walk me through or give an overall like mindset to who's like the in-game leader. Does that switch depending on the map? How do you feel like your guys' comms have improved throughout the year from your experience?
Top out, brother.
Yep.
Yeah, and top BC, brother.
I need a top out.
I got multiple.
Someone get
Play the neutral. Just play the
Top
neutral.
out, top out there.
Neutral. Yeah, I think overall, in-game later is me. Like, I call most of the shots just because I have an AR. It's easier for me to see things from the third person's perspective. And I think for us, how calm we sound is super important. I think just like people need to have concise call-outs. You need to hear exactly what they're saying.
Close up.
That's the door to the left and the right.
Yeah.
To the left and to the right. To the left and to the right.
And yeah, sometimes when it's important, I think it's worth repeating. But in reality, like, you should have to say things one time.
Yo, he's gonna go top scav.
You got the top L?
I'll pick it up. I'll pick it up.
It should be interpreted. And then when stuff needs to be stressed, that's where you come in. And like in this clip, there's a point I say, push, 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 push. And I ramp it up. So everybody almost immediately starts speeding up with how my voice gets louder.
Push, 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 push.
Yo, watch out, watch
Let's
out.
go, let's go, let's
Last
go.
kid there, last kid there. I'm going in.
Let's go. Yo, cut off green, cut off green.
And so the way you use your comms in that regard matters a lot. And I think really that's what has set our comms apart in this game from a lot of other teams, is that we're clear and concise when we need to be. And then as soon as the opening is there and we all ramp up, that's when everybody speeds up and we start getting hyper aggressive and just kind of, we call it getting in their face. And that's really what we've gotten really good at, is just understanding and listening to each other. And even in this clip, I think Shotzi said like 10 things, maybe. You know, he doesn't have to say much. We're telling him where to go. We're telling him what to watch. We're telling him where everybody is. If he doesn't have anything to offer, he doesn't have to say anything. And I think that's a big thing for us. Like, hey, if you don't have anything to say, don't say anything.
I got one on B. Another one on B.
Go to B, Ender.
I still want C. One turn on C.
B, dead.
2 C. 2 C. 2 C.
Another guy B right now.
Get him off. Get him off.
Right side, right side.
I can't see him.
Captain underneath. Yep.
Oh, yo, good
Okay.
bad side,
Yeah,
man.
good
Let's
job,
go.
Good side, boys. That's what I'm talking about.
Comms are just so important, dictating your team's pace, right? And if your comms feel fast and frantic, it's gonna translate over to the gameplay. And if you're able to, like, I don't know, strategically
Move and
say
groove.
things. Yeah, right, exactly, man.
Nah,
So
there's a rhythm, and like, I don't want to say that comms are easy in COD, because they're definitely not, and it's
Right.
definitely a learned talent. Like Shotzi from the beginning of the year to now is a completely different communicator. He's like, in Halo, I didn't have to say anything, and it's like, yeah, in this you have to say everything, you know. And so
couldn't be more different, right?
with you getting that, what you're trying to say, like, I get that it's like a feel, like when I always say aggressive but not frantic. Like, I want us to play with confidence and aggression and get hype and stuff, but I don't want it to just be all the time, you know?
Right.
And I think that there's like a groove and a rhythm you get in where like the comms are flowing and then everybody's like hitting shots, and then as soon as somebody gets like a 3-piece, they infuse a little bit of energy into the comms, and everybody just picks up a little bit and starts like frying even harder and hitting their timings on point, and everything starts feeling smooth, and you get in this groove where like all the comms are just working with the gameplay in tandem, and it's like you're calling things out before you even see him. You're like, I got this guy before you even kill him, you know. And that's a mode you get in, and it only gets there if you have ebbs and flows to your comms. It just can't be 100% all the time, especially not online.
Exactly, dude. I remember back. Are you still like the hype man like you used to be back in the day? Classic Clayster getting up and screaming like a psychopath. I loved it. When we were teaming, like when you would get this look in your eye, and then like you know you're gonna win. I don't know how to describe it. Do you still do stuff like that? Are you still like the hype man? I know it's different because you're online, but
Yeah. So I've found a nice balance there, and like we keep talking about and keep coming back in this episode, like the age and being around so long and being around so many different teammates, I found what works and what doesn't, and it's not unnecessary anymore. Like, I don't just scream after every kill and, you know, do this and that and the other. Like, I only do it in certain situations where I know it's going to help us. I know last year, when I was on a United, they had a big issue with my hype, and they kept like saying it was like fake hype and stuff, because, you know, some of it was manufactured in a way, you know, but sometimes it's not for my team, sometimes it's for the other team, and to get that, like, you know, have them hear me yell across the stage influences people's mindset quite a bit. And so I found a nice balance there. I mean, if you go watch, you know, the LA home series from the last LAN we had in COD, like after I 2-piece optic on B flag with a pistol, you know, I got up with screaming, doing the choke sign and everything,
Yeah.
you know, like there's moments where like that's real from me, and that's like,
Yeah.
like I couldn't help that if I wanted to, like that just erupts out of me, and that's like where it is. And so I found like the nice line of like giving my teammates gas, giving my teammates confidence, also like demoralizing the other team, but not overdoing it in a sense where I'm just screaming in your ear all the time, because nobody really enjoys having somebody screaming in their ear all the time.
Yeah.
And so there's a line there I ride now.
I feel like some people react differently to it too. I feel like some people like want to just stay like level-headed and things like that, but it's like, I don't know, man. I
play much better with my energy levels like that.
Yeah.
So like, I'm like, it sucks for you guys, but I'm
Right.
going to play better if I scream. So let me just scream.
Absolutely. All right, man. We've talked about the hype a good amount. We're moving on to top 3. Your question for the top 3 is, if you had to pick a dream squad for a tournament, no Empire members,
Ooh.
who are the 3 people you're taking with to try and win a Warzone tournament?
So I think I got to take you as one of them.
Let's go.
Like, you got the
I made
comms, you got the skills, so I got to take you.
Hold it. One more.
He's weak.
All enemy teams eliminated.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
And then I've been keeping track of the good Warzone players. And, Huskers has really surprised me a lot with how good he is, especially with all the stuff that he did back in the console Ghost COD days. Who, I won't get into it on the show, but, that guy might have been cheating back then. But,
Drama.
He's really good now. I've watched a lot of his streams and watched him play in Warzone. I think he's really good. And then as the last player, I think you have to go with that Symphony guy. I don't know him really well. I don't think I've ever had a conversation with him, but watching him play and watching these PC players play in Warzone, it blows my mind how good
Different
they
level,
are.
man.
Yeah, it's stuff I look at. I'm like, man, I wish I could do that. Maybe if you put me on a mouse keyboard, I probably could. It's just I got a joystick, man. I can't snap like that.
Exactly.
So it's like you got to add some of the PC players to the squad, so they can just.
I always
for
talk
you, dude.
about it, bro. I try and do like hybrid gameplay on my streams and stuff, and when you can beam at long range with the mouse, it's just the micro adjustments, man. Every single time I beam someone, I'm just like, yeah, people complain about aim assist, man. Come on, dude.
You're infinitely precise on a mouse. I don't want to hear it, dude. I don't want to hear it.
Exactly. That's a good squad. I think we'd win a tourney for sure. I mean, I play with those guys all the freaking time each morning.
Up and down.
On to inside your right room.
I like that a lot. Okay, switching it up now for purely entertainment value. You could bring your teammates into it. If you're just trying to clown around,
What sort of elite strategy are we seeing here?
Clay!
Clay, you little dumpster!
for entertainment value for yourself, who are 3 people you're picking for a Warzone squad?
Honestly, I love playing Warzone with Illy just because he doesn't play a lot, so he's just comedy the whole time. He doesn't know what's going on. He's not making the best decisions, so it's hilarious. Like, he always gets stuck trying to jump up places, So, like, for just comedy purposes, Illy's awesome to play with. Zinni Methods is one of my favorite people to play like
He's
casual
so
games
funny,
with.
man.
Zinni's probably the funniest pro in the CDL. Like, I love that guy to death. He's hilarious. And then as the last guy, I don't know. I feel like when I was playing with Rated, the London, guy who's on the bench right now, he's pretty funny too, but in his like own low key, lowbrow type of way. It's more like snarky funniness instead of just being like comedy, So I have to have that little bit of edge to the squad just to have those laughs that are like out of left field,
I like it a lot. That's great picks. I think, honestly, with both squads, you're probably getting a lot of wins, maybe taking down a tourney.
For sure.
I like that a lot. And finally, someone picks me. Thank God.
Nobody picked you, bro?
Goodness. Dude, I'm trying to ask leading questions to get some gas, and finally I get it. Like, thank you, dude. I was just messing around, man. All right, dude. Next, we got TEEP'S Takes. In this segment, I'm going to give you my quick hot takes on Call of Duty League teams, players, and recent events. Let me know if you agree or disagree, or just give me your overall thoughts. For those watching the episode on YouTube, get involved in the comments. Agree, disagree, type what you think. Please, I want to hear what you have to say. Subliners win the New York home series.
Go.
I feel like it's about time. They've been showing promise, things like that.
Love my boys, Attach and Zuma,
Oh, yeah, for sure. A lot of history with them.
Oh, yeah.
My take on the situation is... this is going to be a little bit mean. I'm happy for the team. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to be a little bit mean. I don't think they would have won if there wasn't such a crazy shift in I don't know if I want to call it the meta, the GAs. It's just a weird time. So, like, they won. Props to them. They've been showing promise. They've obviously been improving. If we were still in the same meta, heavy SMG meta, are they winning a tournament? I wouldn't pick them. My take is that the shift in the meta, I don't know what's happening with the GAs. Apparently 10 mil might be back in. I don't know. Things are all over the place. And it created this opening for them to take home a championship. And props to them. Do you think they're the real deal? Do you think they're going to win another tournament? Obviously, you think your team's going to win, so it's kind of like a weird question for you to answer. What's your take?
Yeah. So first and foremost, if we feel there's anything in the game that'll give us a competitive advantage, we'll use it. We're not colluding with anybody, okay? So legally, let's put that one out there, all right?
Okay, disclaimer.
Disclaimer,
I like it.
right? But I don't want to upset those dudes because I feel like
love those dudes,
guys
right,
play with a chip on their shoulder a lot of the time. Donnie especially, Temp not having a tournament win and stuff like that. I think it would be a lot harder for them to win a tournament if it was on LAN and kind of in the old metas that we were playing with. I don't want to say not for sure. I don't think they 3-0 the Huntsman in the finals of a LAN tournament. I think once you get on that stage, and no offense to him, but a player like Mac, for the first time playing Huntsman in the grand finals of a tournament to win his first chip, that's going to be a lot harder to win that tournament than just sitting in your bedroom playing these guys online. So
absolutely.
I think there's stuff to be said for how hard it is to win a tournament in a LAN atmosphere against the favorites. These guys haven't experienced what it's like to play against, the Seth and Formal fans in person in a super hostile environment. And I mean, there's something to be said for having to perform the best in the world while being under immense pressure. And I think you're taking away that pressure and you're only having the one half that's performing really well. And so not only is the competitive integrity not 1-for-1 like it is on LAN because of online and ping, but you're also eliminating 50% of the equation of what makes a LAN champion, which is dealing with that pressure in person, dealing with the lights, dealing with the sweat, dealing with the waking up every day and the fans and all this and that. And so I think while yes, the team has the talent, they've showed they have the talent to do it, doing it on LAN is a completely different story. So, it's in the middle for me there. I think they could do it, but do I think they would have 3-0'd the Huntsman in the finals on LAN? Absolutely not.
For sure. However, I do have to say, it's absolutely awesome. It's dope that they were able to win their own home series. That's just like a cool story for sure.
They're the only second team to do it, I think. Them in Atlanta.
It sucks that I have to, I have that take, but I don't want to lie to you people. I just feel like I love those dudes. They're definitely improving. That I don't know. They took advantage. They're obviously nasty. They're super talented. I don't know, man. Things wild right now. Props to New York. If I make any of you angry, I'm sorry.
So do you count the chip? Does that count that Donnie's a champion now? Is Temp a champion now?
Oh man, you're throwing the loaded ones at me. My take on the situation. With how things are now, obviously the COVID situation, we're forced to play online. It's a weird situation, but the LAN championships should hold the weight. So I think it's about time. Donnie's a fantastic player. He was bound to win. He's going to probably win more. One of the best to not win one. Yeah, exactly. So
I think it's a spectrum, you got to consider everything involved. There's a spectrum of what counts as a notable championship or not. And it still counts, but is it more notable than a 2K or a 5K from previous years? Yeah, it is. But is it more impactful than, an open event last year? Probably not. So exactly. It's there's just a spectrum you got to consider.
Everyone's going to have a different opinion on it too. Let us know your opinion in the comments. All right, folks? Prize pool for champs, $4.6 million. Winning team gets 1.5. Damn, that's a lot of money.
Yes, it is.
My take on the situation, that the fact that these teams and you guys are playing for this type of money online blows my mind. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I'm going to be glued to my screen, especially with how, the seating, it's such a crazy seating advantage, right? And the way these last couple tournaments play out and how close some of these teams in the sort of middle of the pack and even at the top, these teams are going to be doing everything in their power to secure a top seed because that just increases your probability, your percentage chance of taking home $1.5 million. I think the weight of this prize money and all that's on the line for champs is going to make these last couple of tournaments that much more fun to watch because the players know. It's a lot of cash. You want the bragging rights. There's just so much that goes into it. How exciting is this, prize pool for you?
Absurd. I can't, like you said, I just can't believe that we're playing for this much money from our bedrooms and online. Like it's absurd.
Right there.
Yeah,
You're sitting there.
Yeah,
like,
I could win a lot of money sitting in this chair in just a few weeks' time. I'm thankful that we're still, competing, and we're still competing for large amounts of cash. Also a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm more nervous for this online tournament than I've ever been for like any other champs or anything before.
Makes sense.
It's just a lot of uncontrollable factors, a lot of things that, I could go to LAN, I could sit down, I have my station, do my settings, like I'm there, I'm controlling it. But I feel like there's factors out of my control for these online tournaments that I'm just scared that they don't fall my way for this event. But don't try and think about it negatively, obviously. But it's gonna be crazy. I mean, those top seeds are so important. To get a top 2 seed even is insanely important. So that's really where we're focusing all of our energy, is hopefully win these next 2 tournaments, get that 100 points, and secure a top 2 seed.
Makes a lot of sense. Crazy stuff. And it's got to be hard from your guys' POV to... I feel like playing at a LAN, there's like a whole process that kind of gets your mind into that competition state, competing state. It's hard to replicate that when you wake up for that tournament. It's just like another day. Like you're in your own place. It's not the same sort of vibe. So it's gonna be interesting.
Just talking about this. Like you go to a LAN, go to champs last year, for example. I wake up 9 a.m. Shower, dress by 10:30, eating breakfast by 11, meeting some fans on the way to the venue, dealing with people, walking around, go to the venue, see my team, dap them up, get the scrim going. We're starting to scrim.
Right.
We're already scrimming. Feeling the whole atmosphere. It's a build up to it. It's like here, I wake up and I roll over. I'm like, oh, it's Champ Sunday. Let's go and sit down in my chair. And so I've started trying to like simulate it a bit, like go for a walk beforehand, get up, try and go to a diner, get some food at a diner, then come back home. Like try and simulate that activity. And I'm like, hey, Luna, grab a picture and ask for my autograph. Like it's really just trying to
I like it.
Trying to simulate, man, because we're creatures of habits. Humans are creatures of habit, and we've built these habits to be championship, LAN, like, be there and be present. And when you just switch it online, it's like it doesn't feel as right, I guess. I don't know how to really describe it. It just doesn't feel like I'm in the championship mode. And so I'm really just trying to do anything I can to replicate that.
If I have any advice, get out, 15-minute walk, maybe a little light cardio. Get your mind right, dude. That's when you fry. Maybe, hit some caffeine. Oh, yeah.
A little bit of caffeine.
You start frying. Yep. Oh, yeah.
I'll give it a go this weekend. I'll report back.
A little bit, just get the heart rate up a little bit. You start frying. A light sweat.
Just a light sweat.
That first map, you're dropping 40. Absolutely. All right, Teeps takes. That went well.
Yeah.
Thank you for your takes, Mr. Clayster. Now we have some incoming. We have 2 clips that you need to listen to from the CDL broadcast. We have some Empire gameplay. The commentators are going to be doing their thing. A certain word is going to be bleeped out, and it's your job to try and figure out and guess which word got bleeped. We got the first clip ready to go. Let's play this in 3, 2, 1.
I thought Clay got out. What was that? Holy that was a treat, Joe.
Well, so are they curse words or no?
No curse words. I don't think.
The whole thing. Oh, man.
It's funny when it's on Maven, because, Maven, right?
Yeah. I want to say holy cow. I want to say cow or holy smokes. Smokes or cow? What do I think? What's final answer?
What's your final answer?
Smokes. I feel like smokes is a
Smokes?
Maven thing. Yeah, holy smokes.
Okay, open up the answer. Playing this. You let me know you got it.
I got it.
3, 2, 1.
I thought Clay got out. What was that? Holy hell, that was a treat, Joe.
Well, that was a big. Well, hold on. A little
What?
HE double hockey stick action. I feel like that's a curse word, bro.
That's a gray area.
That's a gray area, man. I got scammed.
And who says holy hell? I haven't heard that.
Holy heck.
Holy. I was not expecting that at all. Oh, man.
All right.
That's a tough one.
I got
That's a
scammed.
good-
I got scammed.
You
I'll
got
take
scammed.
it, dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of people get scammed on this segment, so don't feel bad at all. Some of these are tough, dude. All right, let's get this second one opened up.
Got it.
3, 2, 1.
3 rounds in a row from Empire in a 3v5. All behind Shotzi's massive play.
Oh my god, what? 3v5 what?
You can feel free to listen again. This one's weird.
Hold on, yeah, let me run it back.
Yeah, run it back.
3 rounds in a row from Empire in a 3v5.
A 3v5 something, so like a 3v5. I want to go smoking again, but I feel like I don't know.
Okay.
I guess maybe 3v5 clutch. I feel like maybe it was too hyped to just say it like that.
Yeah.
It's really confusing. I'm gonna just say clutch. Clutch is the word bleeped
Clutch.
out. Yeah.
That's what I would answer.
Yeah.
When I listen to that, I'm like, what other word fits? It's gonna be something else, and we're both gonna be upset, but that's all right. Okay, pulling up the answer, playing that in 3, 2, 1.
3 rounds in a row from Empire in a 3v5 clutch.
Yes!
Shotzi's massive
Winner!
Let's go. All right, I'll take 50%. I'll take
50%.
I'll take it.
That's better than most. We've had some people just get smoked on this segment. To be fair, some of the times they get scammed. It's just Maven pulling out some weird word out of the vocabulary book, the dictionary. It's just like it's so weird, man.
A vocabulary book.
Yeah, I don't know why I said vocabulary book. What is that? That's switch that one up real quick. Thesaurus. All right. What's wrong with me, man? 50-50, 1 for 2 on incoming. Nice job there, Mr. Clayster. And that's going to do it for the episode. My man, thank you so much for joining us on the episode today for the Barracks, picking your brain, reminiscing on some good times that we had on Complexity, our recent tournaments, and overall your success, dude. I have so much respect for you as a leader, as a player, and I think like anything you want to do, whether it be a player or your time after playing, you're going to be a success no matter what. You've brought so much to the Call of Duty scene, and just knowing you as a person, like we've been close for a long time, you're a good dude, man. I'm so happy to see your success, and I hope you guys continue on dominating, especially throughout champs.
Hey, man. Thank you for the kind words, brother. I love you. Hope you guys have a good one. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, bud. Appreciate that. All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of The Barracks, presented by Metro by T-Mobile, the #1 brand in prepaid. Make sure to check out our other episodes and subscribe to the COD League YouTube channel. We'll see you next time for the next episode.